Let's add a split here for the lips. And I actually want these lips to be open, so I'm gonna delete this face here, as well as add an edge loop here, and delete this top face. Bring these this way. It's always easier for me to skip a face that way. And this down. Close this one. Bring this down. Now, if need be, we can start pulling these areas out. We're moving at a steady pace now. We're making sure everything makes sense, and we have our reference here on our other monitor, and everything's looking good. We're just bridging these faces together as need be, closing them out, make sure we're maintaining our proper topology and edge flow. And this is, again, it's just to ensure that our character's eyes can move the correct way, as well as the mouth. So, you may want to put this game in an engine, in a gaming engine, and you want to make sure that your character can animate the correct way. That's all we're doing right now. Making sure, when we create our shape keys, the character can blink, make different facial expressions. So let's just continue working on this. Bridge everything nice and smooth. Blender has really come along a long way from when it first started. It's super user friendly now. Almost anyone can jump into it and get going after watching, obviously, the donut tutorial, which we all go through. So I'm just extruding this from the eye to the back of the head. Make sure everything wraps around nicely, and I go back to vertex mode. And it's always good to clean up your topology before going too far, because you will lose yourself in this crazy madness. So organization is key to success. So I mostly just toggle between edge mode and vertex mode, and I just move around vertices and bridge them together to create the face. And I fill up those gaps in between. This looks good. bridge this, add a supporting edge loop. We could add as many as we need to. We can bridge these together, super simple. And our character is relatively simple as well. We're not doing anything advanced. But, you know, you guys can venture out and go beyond the scope of the tutorial if need be. Give them a cool top hat, maybe a mustache, a chain. But we're going to keep everything nice and simple. So bridge these together. It's honestly like a giant puzzle doing, retopology, making sure your edge flow is proper. So typically I have on music and I just kind of jam out while I do this vigorous task. This is like no one's favorite thing to do. And I'm going to keep stressing on that in this course, that this is what gets, you new artists in the door. Having something like this on your ArtStation and something that shows like the topology as well as the UVs. If those are done good, then hey, you're on your way. So what I hope that you guys take away from this course is, a proper workflow and pipeline to work on your own portfolio pieces. And I would love to see you guys' work once you're done with this. So, if you guys get stuck, comment in the community Discord, as well as post your work. I would love to see if you guys copied the character or made your own character. Let's go back. Let's clean up this topology a little bit. Looking nice. And remember, you want to work with as low amount of faces as possible, because it's easier to move around and get the general block out before adding a bunch of faces. That's going to triple your time working on the project, trying to get everything to move one by one if there's like 1,000 faces. Make some good progress. And I apologize, guys, if I get quiet. I just get in the zone, and I'm sure you guys don't mind. But I often see instructors just try to talk the entire time. But I find it a bit easier just to take it all in and not talk the entire time and just work. And again, guys, I'm holding down shift to multiple select. I know you guys already know it. I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence, just reiterating for those that are just jumping in. Cool. We'll just fill this entire hole. Making a lot of progress. I do gotta finish up these lips, so let's move these vertices around to better, get a better visual of the lips. We'll add another vertice so everything can line up perfect. Perfect. We can add more supporting edge loops around the lips just to capitalize on the flexibility. We have that option. We have the ring around the mouth, the eyes, the neck, wrist, and legs. Yeah, we could bridge this together. It's going to be a pain once we get to the fingers and the toes. Typically what I do is I do one finger and then I just duplicate it to be the other fingers once, you know, the first one's done. But in this case, I'll just do one by one. No shortcuts. Yeah. And we're moving at a pretty steady pace, honestly. And the best part about, you know, make sure the topology is good. Afterwards, you know, you can manipulate the low poly geometry to create various different characters of the same species, of course, obviously. We can make a female, you know, creature out of this. We can change up certain things to make a morph into a different character. And it's basically limitless once everything's done. Just adding our edge loops where we need to. And whenever I can't figure out, you know, at that moment what to do with a specific edge loop, I just move on to a different part of the, you know, of the body. And then I rotate back around to give myself time to, you know, think a little bit. Remember, guys, if you can't fit the vertices in a specific area, just add another edge loop, you know, and make it fit. And remember, we don't want any tries on the face unless it's going to be areas that aren't going to move, like the head, really. And you typically don't want it there either, but, you know, if you have to have it, put it somewhere that's not going to bend, you know, because that's when you're going to get the artifacting. And obviously some shading issues as well. So try to keep your polygons in order. And just keep chugging on, boys. Take breaks because you're going to need them. This is not a thing you can just wake up, do, and it's done quick. It's time consuming, and this is why we get paid the big bucks. This is the stuff that no one wants to do. Kind of like a garbage man. It pays handsomely, and it pays to know how to do this. So this is pretty much all I'm doing throughout the entirety of this section of Retopology. So if need be, you guys can just turn on some music, turn the volume down on my voice, or time lapse this, you know. And I'm merging these vertices here because I have way too many edge loops and they need to go somewhere. And like I mentioned previously, guys, you don't want triangles where the mesh deforms, like knees, the face, but this is the side of the temple where there won't be any bending or stretching, so this is okay. This is not a good practice to do, but you know, depending on your model and you know what your model is going to be used and intended for, you know, just use it sparingly. I know that the head won't be bending, so tries are okay. But if you had more of a humanoid character, maybe it wouldn't be, you know, the thing to do. But for here, it's fine. Let's just bring out these vertices here on the eyelids. This part gets a bit frustrating if you can't see what you're doing. I've been doing this for a while, so I kind of modeled the eyes intended for this specifically. Grabbing my edges and filling them in. And you want to make sure that the topology of the eyes go in a circular type of flow, because we need the eyes to blink. Once we start creating our shape keys and rigging this character, he will blink. So if you do this part incorrectly, you will have some artifacts later on when you try to animate your character. Whether it's going in a game engine or just used for animation purposes, you know, it really matters. So what I'm going to be doing as well is providing you guys a low poly version of this. So I'll provide you guys this file that I'm using just in case you guys make a mistake, or if you guys just want to skip the topology portion, you guys can do that. I have provided you guys this low poly model inside the resource files. So if you guys need to study it, you guys can do that as well. And maybe you guys already know how to do. I know there's going to be a few of you guys that already know how to do retopology, and you just don't like it. So this is for you as well. You guys can just download the low poly version I created and just keep chugging on through the series. Got some good topology here on the eyelids. Keep going. Let me Control Z, go backwards. I think I skipped an edge. Keep going. Just keep swimming. I always like to switch back and forth with the X-ray mode. See how this baby's turning out. And if you guys can't see certain areas, that's what this is for. And I have an edge loop that shouldn't be there, so I need to get rid of this. I made a mistake, so I'm going to Control Z and go back. And you don't want that. So whatever weird overlapping is going here, I want to just delete these faces. And I have this edge here that we also need to delete. Now we can go back to fixing this. I can grab all three of these edges and fill it in the correct way. It's so easily to make a mistake. So just try to move at a steady pace and watch what you're doing. If something doesn't look right, 9 times out of 10, it's not right. So just go back until you guys get it. I'm just making this look a little better. Make sure this edge flows good. Remember, we don't want any tries, so whatever we got to do to ensure that the tries don't exist, the better. So I'm just moving these, I'm just extruding out these vertices to create these edges here, because we want the eyelid to be nice and thick. And we want to maintain that overall thickness. Just close these out. And we don't have to retopologize the inside of the eyes, because we're going to do a nice trick at the end to fix that.